Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ray here, and welcome to my hair Transformers transformation. Well, I just done that again.
Unknown transforming robot. It's probably shit, but if I just bet a quid, it really won't matter.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ray here, back for another Transformer transformation review thingy. I'm doing this with my hands for some reason. It is morning, and I don't often do morning reviews. But today I felt motivated. Yes, I did. I've just had a little look at YouTube. Every morning I go onto Cybertron, the one that begins with an S, and then have a little look at the news. And there is some news there, and I want to tell you about that in a moment. And then I go onto YouTube and I look at vids and do some responses and all the rest of it. Blah blah. And so today I was on YouTube and I watched Dave's video of Human Alliance Soundwave, and he looks quite nice. But I find it difficult to get excited by cars, essentially. And then I haven't said that. Some cars are cool as long as they're, what do they call them? Super deformed or hyper realistic. Muscle cars and things like that. I like those kind of things. But your Mercedes SLS, I think that's what he said it was. And those cars that really, really exist, I don't get excited about bots like that. So we're talking movie bots, movie era bots. So, and because we're thinking movie again. We're thinking fourth movie, Age of Extinction, Dinobots. Great. So we had a look. There were images of a leader class Prime on this Cybertron site, and I go back and look at them every day, and I pinch myself to make sure I'm not dreaming as I look at them. And these images of this Prime are fucking horrendous. Have you seen them? They're fucking awful. I like the leader class primes that we've had so far. Although they're very difficult to transform, they're highly articulated, and it's a proper work of half an hour to transform that bastard. It really is, and it's fun. There's a sense of achievement, and they look great, wonderful. Lots of real stuff going on. There's none of this chess cheating, and which I can't abide. And this bot is full of chrome, but it looks like a bubble bath. Have you seen it? Oh, fuck. I'm really profoundly disappointed. I hope that isn't kind of setting the pace for the rest of the movie line. This new movie line are going to look. What we always say about the movie line. And anyway, I'm addressing the people like me that always get excited but ultimately are completely disappointed by the movies and the toys. The movies, they're awful films. I have them and I watch them now and again, and because there's big bots on screen, but they're appallingly made. They're really bad. Storyline, don't make me laugh. And the bots come out, and I go, yes, this is the year that the bots get good. And it isn't really the case. I mean, I can say, for example, in all of Cybertron, I love all of Cybertron, and I love all of the Unicron trilogy bots, and I love all the Beast bots, I love all the Generations bots, but all the movie bots, no. I'm going to start talking about movie bots now, ladies and gentlemen. And I've seen this Prime, and it's the definite article, leader class Prime, and he's all chrome, but he is one big shell forming cheat. For example, do you know the little dead end, the little Nautilus from Beast Wars 2, and he's a bot inside these two halves of a big shell? Well, that essentially is what this looks like, and I can't think of any reason that they've done that, other than they're experimenting with this more simplified bots. It looks like a fast action battler, which I don't have, and I have no interest in them at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, I put it to you that if that is representative of how the movie bots are going to be, then we, the adult collectors, will, during this current movie season, film 4, will probably stop buying the movie bots. I certainly won't be getting that bot. Certainly will not be getting that bot. all the other leader class bots up until now. And I've liked them all. They've been good, and I've liked them. But this guy looks horrendous. Horrendous. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, where were we? What is it about a particular bot that can grab an individual in a very personal and specific way, and it might do nothing for anybody else? For example, this chap. You know, the Beast Wars Howlinger Canine Wolfang mode. Mold. I keep getting those words mixed up. He grabs me in a very, very specific way. And I'm not really sure what it is. I find him so complete, almost perfect. Apart from the fact that, like a lot of plastic, like a lot of man-made things, he is very, very flawed. And he's got big fists sticking out the front of it. There's something really wonderfully compact and bijou about this. Let me show you what I mean. As with a lot of Beast Wars, the tail is going to come off and it transforms all by itself into a little handheld weapon. Then the back is going to come off and transform very nicely into a rather sexy little shield. I do like a bot with a shield. Example. And the fun doesn't stop in bot mode, because right through the center of him, he's got these 2 missiles that are secreted within the body of the wolf. And then they're these kind of little funky crossbow missiles for the gun. And I just love that. Now, he doesn't have notoriety within the collecting community as being a bot that's particularly ingenious or particularly collectible or anything, but I love him. I just have a really soft spot for him. Lots of boxes are ticked there for me, as it is with a lot of bots. And this guy is one of them. This is, of course, Energon Bulkhead, and I love this bot. Absolutely love it. So, with that in mind, I was delighted when Santa got me this. This is the Quickstrike version of him. Now, I didn't expect to get this in my Christmas pile. I really didn't. And I was so pleased. I remember when I first started collecting bots. It was nearly 10 years ago. And I would see bots that were repainted. And at the start, when I started to collect bots, you know, when I had kind of less than 100, I used to think, oh no, people are really falling for that. They're collecting these repainted things, and they're not even remolded or anything. They're just given a different paint scheme and given a new character name and identity, and people are falling for that, really. I was so young and naive then. And then, you know, whatever, 700, 800 bots later, I don't know how many I've got. And you kind of have a lot of bots, or, you know, maybe even most bots. I'm not sure, I might even have most bots. Then you go, oh Christ, I don't have that Energon repaint of Bulkhead, and I love the Bulkhead. Oh, I'd quite like that Quickstrike. And then that turns into, oh, I must get Quickstrike. And then it's like, oh, I need to get that Quickstrike. So that's what it turned into for me, and I was so pleased to get this guy. There comes a certain point, I find a certain evolution in the way that I collect. At the beginning, I was just collecting the things that were out in the shops at the time. That was Cybertron stuff. And then I became a bit more fluent with eBay and all the rest of it, and I started to collect older stuff from G1, the stuff that I had when I was a kid. And then I was only collecting what I liked. And then I started to collect everything that I could get my hands on. And then now in this stage in my collecting, I collect things that I can get, everything I can get my hands on, but also even things that I've got, but this time in their packets. You see all these packets of things over here. I mean, some of those I have. You know, some of them, like some of these beast formers at the top, up where I can't point, up here, I've already got those. But then there's some of the repaints, I can't point, like this is Sunstorm, and I've got Thrust, and I've got another Thrust over here, that brown Thrust up there. I'm just not going to open them, because if I really like a bot, I want them in their package. So he's in the package. I have opened it, or rather he was opened. So let's get on. I'm going to take him out of the box. So this is our Quickstrike, and he's reminiscent of an Apache helicopter. I love this color scheme, cousin to Bulkhead. He's got some very, very funky writing on the side of him. Let's hope this camera can pick it up. There we go. I don't know what that says. We'd quite like to know. TF Wiki doesn't even know what it says, so maybe nobody does. One of the things that I love here is he's got this rear landing gear, and when you pull it backwards, the blades spin, and they really spin. I could do that all day if I didn't have something better to do. He does have missiles. He's got 4 missiles, yawn and yawn, but I've got them. But you don't need to see them. Missiles just frustrate adult collectors. They really do, because if you don't have them, then you want them. If you're a bit of a kind of a completionist like me, I do keep all my missiles together in a big box and then label them. Yes, I do. It's the best way to do it. Now, he has an afterburner unit. This takes batteries, and therefore we have lights and sounds. I don't keep my batteries. I don't keep batteries in things, because I learned in my cost that batteries can corrode and they can just kind of fuck up the electronics. So don't keep batteries in your things, ladies and gentlemen, because you'll go back to your Triptychon in 5-6 years time and go, I'm going to have a little play with my Triptychon, watch him walk. He doesn't walk. Why? Because the acid has come out of your battery and corroded your Triptychon. That hasn't happened to me, thankfully. He's sitting over there somewhere, and he works. Now look at that for an afterburner unit. I do like this. I like the way this thing looks. Now, but this wouldn't get off the ground. Look at the fucking size of it. It wouldn't get off the ground. It just looks so very good. It's a big, fat, dangerous looking helicopter, and I like that. But so here's little Quickstrike in his bot mode. Say little, he's actually quite tall. Now let's see if we can get a close-up of the head sculpt. Is that going to happen? Yes, it is. Jolly good. He looks exactly the same as Bulkhead. Now, he doesn't superlink with any other bots from the range, which I don't mind, because the superlink gimmick, in my opinion, just compromised bot modes. For example, the Hotshot is a case in point. It's one of the ugliest transformers in existence, and it's because they compromised the robot mode because it had the superlink. So he doesn't superlink with any other bot except his little drone, which is great. Now there's Bulkhead, his cousin Bulkhead. Now Bulkhead, for all the world, looks like a Springer, and indeed we suspect that he probably was going to be called Springer, because the little drone that he comes with is the same color as Cup. So we could have had a Springer and a Cup, but why not? So this is his propeller unit. You can actually store it in his back, as we did with Bulkhead there, or you can take it off and you can have this thing going. I'm happy that it does that, but I'd rather just stick it in the back and just let it look kind of sexy sitting there. So what of his drone? Let's have a look at this. This is his drone. Let me just put little Bulkhead down. Looks quite an imposing thing like that, doesn't it? Now this transforms. This is so cool, the way this transforms. Let's see. Lots of wonderful clicks going on here. This is going to turn into one of those, was it RoboCop that we see in this kind of freestanding drone? And these little afterburn units turn into little feet, which I think's great. So he's got this very funky kind of almost like a girl walk thing chasing around after him. Look at that, it's great. Something slightly insect-like. And bipedal artillery cannon. That's what I'm going to call it. I like the sound of that. Looks great, doesn't it? Now, he can combine with himself. So you see there's 2 little red buttons right in the center there, and they are the different sound clips. I can't remember what they are. You don't need to hear them. They're unremarkable, I think. So this little unit is going to attach to his back. Is it like this? You've got to open out these little flaps first. There we go, that's it. And then this bad boy is going to attach with a little click. Yeah, somewhat. So you bring these bad boys forward like that. These are going to be what? Shall we call them cannons? Why not? In order to do that, first of all, I want to shorten these. Otherwise, they just look really big and really ridiculous. So I'm going to shorten these bad boys. There's the one. And the one at the other side. They're really profoundly clicky, these, which I like, because it just says to me that a bot, it just reminds me of G1 anyway, and I'm such a G1er. So this is going to attach all the way to the back like that. And there we go. This is, I suppose, what do they call this? This is as brute mode. That's what they call it. I love this. So this is a Quickstrike with his drone attached. You can imagine that these things at the top are rather like, these are going to be some really big plasma cannons or something. And these are going to light up somewhat because they do have electronics in them. Now let me show you next to Bulkhead in his power up mode. So this is the huge powered up Bulkhead, and you can see why people are thinking Cup and Springer. And this is the equally huge Quickstrike, both from Energon. They are big bots, they are big display pieces, and I suppose one of the other reasons I love them is because they are big bots, and I just have a thing for big bots. And I love the way this guy looks a lot more menacing with his black and red and little hints of white. I was just really pleased to wake up on Christmas morning and among all the other goodies find this guy sitting in my hall. Really, really wonderful bot. I would urge anybody to get him if you like big, chunky bots. He's a fairly standard transformation. There's no surprises really, but he's lots of fun to play with and combine. And he's a helicopter. What's not to like? So ladies and gentlemen, I surprised myself by doing this little vid this morning. I wasn't expecting it. I really quite enjoyed it. I shall be back again in another few days, and I'm looking forward to hopefully putting up some footage of my big 40th birthday bash. It's all Transformer people, so it could be lots of fun, lots of faces you recognize from the tube and all the rest of it, and a 40th birthday haul. That would be cool. Go and check out that piece of crap on Cybertron, that Leader Class Prime, and let me know what you think. I'm really interested to know what people think about that thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment, this is Ray, signing out.
Now that's what I call a robot in the sky.